G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. G'day guys and welcome to Casual Rage. Casual Rage 120, Jesus, 134. How you doing? Where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. And of course, there's a lot actually going on this week. We had a couple of leaked things from Marvel, from Deadpool, which we'll talk a little bit about. We also had some Ahsoka news and some Star Wars news, which of course we'll get into. And there's a couple of other things, like some actual good movies that are coming out that I'm actually excited to see that we're going to talk about. One of those, of course, being Mission Impossible, which I'm going to see tonight. I actually can't wait. I've been looking forward to this. It's exciting. I can't wait. So yeah, to this stream today, I've only got about 2.5 hours before I've pretty much got a boot and go to my brother-in-law's house because I'm going to see it with him and my nephew. So it should be good, but we'll have to try and sort of speed through this a little bit. I mean, we normally only go for about 2.5, 3 hours, sometimes maybe 3.5 hours, but we'll just have to see how we go, and hopefully we can get through everything that I want to get through. But I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you, all of you guys in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Let's quickly go through and say hello. We've got Nitrium in the chat. Let's see. I saw this comment. After the disastrous Indy 5, I'm guessing that the Mangold Star Wars prequel ain't going to happen. But is Rey's film even likely now? It's a good question. And it's definitely, I don't know about the whole Mangold thing, whether or not that's even going to happen. I mean, this is the thing. They only just announced it at Star Wars Celebration. There's not a lot that actually put behind it other than just announcing them. And whether or not these things are actually going to happen or not, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But it's an interesting thought, isn't it? I mean, after the disaster that Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not James Mangold is going to maintain his Star Wars movie after the disaster that Indiana Jones 5 is. And we're going to talk a bit about Indiana Jones 5 too, because that has really, really fallen off a cliff. I know there's a lot of people out there that talk about it, and a lot of people do the videos with the box office stuff, and we are going to touch on the box office of that, because to me, that seems like a pretty good indication of what's actually happened to that movie. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not Rey's film's going to happen. The thing is with Rey's film is the fact that they paraded her out at Star Wars Celebration. makes me think that they've already like signed her, contracted her, and everything, and they need to push forward with it. Like out of all of those three movies, even the Dave Filoni one, I think the one that's most likely to happen is the Rey movie. As much as most people don't want to see that, so we'll have to wait and see on that. We've got Corey in the chat as well. I did see that. Again, you know how I feel about the rumor mill and all of that sort of thing, and the whole sources and all of that. Again, we'll have to wait and see. You know, my understanding of Mando season 3 was that they did Mando season 3 and 4 like not film them at the same time necessarily, but apparently the scripts and everything were in place. So because they needed to know where they were going to do 3, I thought that they would have needed to know where they're going from like season 1. But it seems that that's not necessarily the case. So again, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Excuse me. Darth Scipio, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm going to get in the zone. We'll have to see. Even when I did my Ahsoka trailer reaction this week, I don't know, sort of the rage has gone from me in regards to it because, look, I did say in that video I don't care, and I know Christopher Barker came in and Christopher Baker, I think it is. He came in and he wrote a comment about how you do care, like you do. And in a way, he's right. I do care. But like when I say I don't care, it's like I don't care that like destroy it now. It's done. It's already destroyed. So let's just keep going along that line of destruction, basically. Rhino is going to simp for Ahsoka. I don't know about that. Ahsoka and the Force is female. Yeah. That, oh man, it so is with this show. Will Ahsoka be as good as Rebels? Well, I would argue that Rebels isn't actually that good. So probably it'll be as bad as Rebels. Prue Navarro, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Roll your dog. That's right. Roll your dog. D-Day Direwolf, how you doing? Good to see you. Yes, I did get a haircut. I got a trim. Went to the barber and love going to the barber. I actually hate like the neck beard that grows back, and I hate actually sort of having to shave it. But like just to maintain the look, you kind of got to get rid of it. That's the whole reason why I grew the beard, because I was sick of shaving, and because my hair's so thick, I've like got to shave like every single day, especially in the line of work that I'm in. So that's why I like having the beard. Fear of FEMA, how you doing? Nice, finally got something good to watch. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Melissa Lord's in the chat. How you doing? We've, of course, got the great, the wonderful, the one and only Holy Order of the Jab, Tuscan Bob. How you doing? What? Bad Robot, thank you for your payment. All right. Let's see. Ahsoka, fake Air, fake Thrawn, and fake Star Wars. Well, you're absolutely right, Melissa. But the crazy thing about it, and we've got something to touch on with that, just something that apparently Dave Filoni said that, I think maybe he's saying what he's saying, and again, we'll get to it, because of maybe a bit of the backlash that's come from people saying like, oh, they're adapting Heir to the Empire, but it's not Heir to the Empire. Oh, we'll get into that. We will. Tilliam, good to see you too, buddy. Mike Hill, the great Mike Hill. Dude, you sent me so much stuff that I actually haven't got prepared for this show. Like, there's a couple of seals in there and everything that I'll probably end up using maybe next week. Because I already had some stuff of my own, and some of them you actually sent to me after I'd already sort of selected them. But dude, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Some of it I'll use, some of it I won't. but I appreciate it all the same. Soul Assassin is here. I think the actors and writers strike will make Disney rethink on the films. Maybe. I say do them. Now, I'm kind of like, I know I'm kind of with Greg on it. Like, get Rian Johnson, get him to do his trilogy. Get James Mangold after the disaster of Indiana Jones. They've already apparently got him anyway. Like, why not? Just keep going. Why do you put your butt on me? Fuck. Pro Jack fan, good to see you. The Nuisance Bird, how you doing? Fractured Filter, how are you? Yes, always comes back for the replays. Leaves messages, and you're awesome. You really are. Let me just check something here. Hold on. No, we're okay. Just, I hate the fact that, again, StreamYards doesn't show like member chats or even, I don't think it even shows like gift memberships or anything like that. So I've always got to just go back and check. Arboru's in the chat. How you doing? Hail. I did see something come through though over here. From Arboru. Thank you very much, dude. $20 over on Streamlabs. It just says, hey, Rhino. Hey, Arboru. How you doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Just the support is brilliant. Let me give you this one.
Thank you very much.
Jealous? That's how I'm going to say it now. Because when I say jealous, it just sounds like jealous. Jealous, how you doing? Good to see you. And I think we are all caught up in the chat here. Again, I've got to sort of speed through this a little bit because, like I said, I'm going to see Mission Impossible tonight. I've been looking forward to this. I just think, like, I've always liked the Mission Impossible movies. I think probably Mission Impossible 2 is probably the worst one out of all of them. But Mission Impossible, me and my brother-in-law have always watched those movies pretty much together. We're going to see it tonight at the movies, and it should be really good. And I'm hearing really good things about it. But we're actually going to start with that. So let me just bring this up. Christian, how you doing? The cat strikes back. Yeah, fucking Charles. Oh, he heard his name. His ear twitched. All right. Let's get into a little bit of Mission Impossible. So, of course, Mission Impossible is dropped, and it is destroying anything that's been out, like everything that's been out. It's been awesome to watch. Of course, with everything that Tom Cruise has done to hype up this movie, to get the fans hyped up, I've really appreciated everything. I just think that it's been really, really well advertised, especially with the stuff that Tom Cruise has been doing. But we've got a couple of things here that we're going to watch. So let's just watch this first of all. This is the chase scene is a signature. Sorry, the chase scene is a signature of every Mission Impossible movie. I was about to say Indiana Jones. Go behind the scenes of the best reviewed movie of the year. And so far from what I've seen, it has been the best reviewed movie of the year. Everybody sort of raves about this movie. It's pretty action-packed. And I will say for a Mission Impossible movie, I think I mentioned this in one of my videos, probably the worst thing that I've heard is that because it's a part one of a two-part series, of course, it doesn't really have an ending. I do hope that that does end well enough. Leaves a little bit of a cliffhanger there for the next one, but also too, just sort of closes it, lets it settle for a little bit, and then of course ramps up for part two. But let's take a look at this. They've done a lot of behind the scenes videos have come out. We've watched the car chase one. We also watched of course, the him riding the motorbike off the cliff. But then let's take a look at this one.
Tom and I have been talking about shooting in Venice for 14 years now.
Yeah, beautiful that is.
One of the reasons I'm drawn to it is it hadn't been shot in quite the way I imagined shooting it. It's a very difficult location to shoot. There are no vehicles allowed in this city. Everything has to be brought in by boat, then carried to set by hand.
Yeah, crazy.
It's my first time in Venice.
It's mine too. We wanted Venice to have a completely different feel from the rest of the movie. And then we made that more challenging by deciding to shoot a sequence entirely at night. There's no better place than to shoot a sequence at the Doge's Palace. It's a signature landmark of Venice. We brought in digital projectors that actually made the Doge's Palace something of a character. We wanted the building to feel alive. We staged a party and decided to make it about light and color.
It's been a long time, friend.
A chase scene is a signature of every Mission Impossible. We wanted to do something different this time. Venice is this eerie and spooky world with its narrow alleys and corridors. If you're a stranger here, it's very easy to get lost. This becomes very much a labyrinth in which the team is lured. There's fights happening simultaneously. Each one of the actors is trained in a different fighting style, designed to express elements of character and personality.
Awesome.
We wanted to really make this a love letter to Venice and to do it in a way that it really had never been done before.
Nice. The thing that I love about this, like just with when he's talking about the fight scenes and how everybody's trained in a different fight style, where was that? This bit here. And of course, the choreography of that. This makes me think of just going back to Star Wars for a second, like with the prequels and everything, how much effort and time and everything that they put into the choreography compared to what they're doing now with a lot of this stuff. I really like that. That looks really cool. I can't wait to see it. Like I said, I'm going tonight, so it should be really, really awesome. Yeah, look, I understand what you're saying there, Greg, but this is definitely going to have way more legs in this is my prediction. This is me speculating, but this is going to have way more legs, and it's an expensive movie too. I mean, the practical effects, the locations, the actors, all of that sort of thing. This has a big budget as well and needs to make a lot of money to break even, just like Indy 5. But I feel like this movie is going to do that. It's going to be a lot more entertaining. From what I'm hearing, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes long, and it doesn't feel like 2 hours and 45 minutes, whereas Indiana Jones 5 is 2.5 hours, and you feel like you're sitting there for every minute, and every minute's going in slow motion. Like, I reckon it's just going to feel a whole lot different. It's going to have a much different feel to it and move forward in a lot better light, especially with the word of mouth that's going on out there. The word of mouth for Indy 5 was horrible. The word of mouth for this, so far from what I've seen, has been pretty good. I'm yet to see one person speaking badly about it, honestly. But yeah, that was really cool. Also, too, like, you know, we talked about this with Harrison Ford coming out and doing his little video, and a lot of people were thinking, you know, oh, he's trying to do a Tom Cruise and ask, the fans, thank the fans and all of this kind of thing. And again, it was too little too late. It was a week after it had released, and they're seeing it sort of fail a bit at the box office. And then they get Harrison Ford to come out and say this stuff. And it's very unlike Harrison Ford to come out and thank fans. I mean, when does he ever do that? It seems more so that he hates the fans more than anything else. But, then you've got Tom Cruise going into movie theaters and actually, saying hello to people. I can imagine that would have been awesome. Despite how you feel about Tom Cruise. Like when you think about the thing with Harrison Ford, it wouldn't have been hard for Harrison Ford to go into a random movie theater and say hello to the fans and thank them for coming. But Tom seems to be the only one that does it. And then you've got this. I think, is this the same movie theater? No, it's a different one. I can tell by obviously the color of the seats. So this is a whole different movie theater. So he's gone into more than just one.
I didn't know I was here. Thank you all for being here. We dream of these moments to make these films for you and for you all to see it in this kind of format. So it really is such an honor to entertain you, and I'm just so happy to see everybody here.
Again, in the current climate that we're in with escapist entertainment, and how much the fans get actually railed these days by studios, by actors, you're racist if you don't go and see this movie or whatever the case may be. I got to admit, just like I've said with a lot of the other stunts and thanking videos that he's actually done, it is a breath of fresh air and it comes across as genuine. I don't think he's quite doing that, man. It doesn't, well, he's not saying like, oh, come down to the Church of Scientology or anything like that. We also had this from Collider. Now, he's interviewing some of the cast, and I just wanted to watch some of this. It's 6 minutes long, whether or not we watch the whole thing or not. I just want to see what the questions are, because the one thing that I notice when it comes to sort of a bit more of the mainstream or the access media and interviewing the cast and stuff like this, they seem to try and prompt certain responses through the questions that they ask. Like, what's it like being a strong female, character in this series? Like, we've never seen strong female characters in the series before, or what's it like being the first black character? Like, these are the type of questions that they ask. And I just wanted to see whether or not throughout this, and this was the only one that I've seen on Twitter, I would have probably gone and, jumped in a little bit more and seen if there was anything more out there. But I just wanted to watch a little bit of this with you and see what some of the questions are that he actually asks.
Yeah, the best Alan Rickman story I've heard is he used to go out for dinner with friends all the time, and they would try to pay, and he'd say, "I got this, Harry Potter." And he would just pay for a ton of meals and stuff. Yeah.
She's so hot.
So I really want to start with a sincere congratulations. This movie is fucking awesome. Tried to bleep myself. It's the fastest 2.5 hour movie I've seen in a long time. I want to specifically talk about the fact.
I'm hearing that a lot. It's the fastest 2.5 hour movie I've seen in a long time. And that to me is an indication of a good movie. When you actually don't feel like you've been sitting there for 2.5 hours. And even though you have been sitting there for 2.5 hours, at the end, it's like, is that it? Like, you almost want more.
Fact that what you not only were you cast in the movie, and the thing is, sometimes when you were cast, you can have a small role and it's still cool. But what was it like for you getting cast, and then Tom and Chris are like, yeah, you have a massive role, you're involved in all the action, can you do this, or get ready?
Yes. Well, it was a lot in that. For context, when I came in to do the screen test, McHugh had seen me
immersive. Absolutely.
In a play 10 years previously. And he was like, I want to what you do on that stage, I want to bottle it and put it onto screen and write a character for you, but I don't know what that is yet. We cut to 10 years later, and he calls me up and he says, will you come in and read with Tom? We're thinking of creating the next installment of Mission Impossible, looking for a new leading lady opposite him. And there wasn't a character that I had to fit into. There was just this brief of going, let's see, we want to find the actress who loves this work ethic, who loves the process of it, who loves to collaborate and throw herself into every opportunity with all these resources of working with these experts as is possible. And from that, a character is going to emerge. And so it was this sense that you can sort of, on a daily basis, write yourself into the story, or if you become back-footed or a bit fearful or a bit kind of like, you take your eye off the mark, you could also backtrack out of the movie. Like there was this kind of a strong sense of that. That's how collaborative it felt like. So I came in going, we don't know who this character is. She didn't have a name for a long time. But I will try lots of different things, and we're going to see what lands, and we're going to see what the film wants. I'm going to see what the camera wants, and ultimately what the audience wants. So here you have Grace.
Yeah, and also the other thing about this franchise is Chris is so good at writing great female characters. You know,
there it is.
So, man, I have a ton of questions. Let's talk about the car chase in Rome, just because it's so incredible and unique, because it adds humor that feels earned, not just forced to make people laugh.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about film.
Yeah, that's another thing that you don't see you don't see a lot of, where it's forced humor these days. You know, in a lot of movies, a lot of shows, where I'm hoping that what he's saying is correct in the fact that it doesn't feel forced. It's actually earned humor, or earned, whatever the case may be, is actually, you know, you can see the progression of it.
Filming that sequence, because you also shot during the day in Rome, streets are shut down.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. You're absolutely right. You know, Macquarie is an incredible writer. He really understands structure and pressure and how to put characters together in a situation that they shouldn't be in or don't want to be in, and that has inherent tension to it. And so the comedic elements to that are sort of comic relief and in between those moments of how high the stakes are, but nothing that feels too, as you said, too pushed, too forced, too reached for. Every time we tried something that felt farcical or felt a little bit too cute, it didn't work, and we could feel it, and we could change and pivot and do something else. But a lot of the humor came out of the kind of natural circumstance of Ethan Hunt being undermined by a Fiat 500. I mean, that in itself is so brilliant. You know, the car became a character in and of itself. And so to have Grace, who's an outsider, not knowing who Ethan Hunt is, watching a man, instead of turning on the engine, turning on the windscreen wipers. Like she's a bit worried for him. She's also kind of worried for herself that she's not with someone who really knows what they're doing. And so there was a kind of an ease with finding the comedy between us. I think that it came out of the circumstances.
What I love about Tom is that he's willing to look stupid on camera.
Yeah.
And there's a shot in that sequence where he's just almost giving up. Like, I don't understand, like, you know, and it's many actors would not give that shot. But Tom, you know what I mean?
I'm so pleased you picked up on that, because you could see that every day. He leaves his ego and his pride at the door, and he is able to cede power for the sake of a great moment in the movie, or something new that we haven't seen him.
I don't know if I actually like that, because Ethan Hunt, he's supposed to be, you know, I mean, he's sort of that special ops kind of person. Like, he shouldn't really be not knowing. I mean, okay, no, look, I'm probably being a little bit too much, because the only reason why I sort of started second guessing that is because, like, if you guys don't know, I sell cars. Where I sell cars, normally we've got the indicators on the right-hand side here, right? And the cars that I'm selling, the indicators are on the left-hand side and the wipers are on the right-hand side. And the amount of times that I see people turning on the wipers instead of indicating, like on a test drive or something like that, you know, it's quite funny, because, again, most people are used to it the way that it is. And, of course, I understand that muscle memory eventually does kick in and they actually get it right. But, yeah, I might be being a little bit too much.
Him do as Ethan Hunt. And to watch him find the kind of the vulnerabilities and the slightly more, idiosyncratic version of Ethan who feels a little embarrassed or humiliated, and he really leaned into that. And the funnier it becomes, and the more we like him. And so he's masterful at knowing what the audience want.
One of the other things, though, about taking this role, because you're in both parts, is this has been filming for basically 20 years, and it's going to continue filming.
All right, I'm done with that. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, especially coming from them over at Collider. But I'm just now gonna go see the movie. I'm gonna wait and see how I feel about it. I really hope it's good. From what I'm hearing, it's good, very enjoyable, and kind of like you said, it doesn't feel like you've been sitting there for 2.5 hours. And yeah, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. And I can't wait to see it. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry, just work. Give me 1 sec. Talk to the chat, Charles. All right. I'll deal with that a bit later. God, that's annoying. All right. I got a fucking phone call this morning from work while I was still sleeping in a little bit. And I called them back, and it was like it was a nothing burger phone call. It was Charles. It was just annoying. Can you not, please? Thank you. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. What do we got next? I'm seeing a lot more people sucking Tom Cruise's dick. Hey, from what I'm hearing, it's a good movie. People are enjoying it. And Tom Cruise has done nothing in recent times to dishearten anyone or piss anyone off, or, I mean, he hasn't really had a box office flop in at least the last 2 movies. And there hasn't been the elements of bullshit that they've brought in. So they've got no real reason to give Tom Cruise shit at this point in time. Yeah. Remember, I know that it needs to do nearly the same as Indiana Jones 5 to break even. But I feel like this movie's got more of a chance than Indiana Jones 5, that's for sure. 100%. Now, whether or not it does or not, obviously we'll have to sort of wait and see. But again, word of mouth definitely makes a difference. It's kind of like with Top Gun, right? Top Gun Maverick, when that hit theaters, I think, for the first week, it didn't actually perform great. It didn't perform badly, but it didn't perform great. And then all this word of mouth comes out, and everybody's like, "Go and see it, go and see it." And it's funny, when there's a good movie, when the people that have seen it do their reviews, but they don't want to spoil anything for you, and they really tread around it. Whereas, like, you see a bad movie like Indiana Jones 5, and they don't care about putting spoilers out there because it's shit. They'd rather actually tell you how bad it is so that you don't go and waste your money on it, sort of thing. So, yeah. Well, again, we'll have to see whether or not it even makes it, whether or not it even breaks even. But I do feel like there's more of a chance of Mission Impossible of doing it than Indy 5. Really? Indy 5 was better than Mission Impossible 7? Okay. That's a hot take, I think. All right, let's get into some Star Wars news. Again, I'm going to see Mission Impossible tonight, so I'll let you know what I think. Okay, so obviously our friend Dan, our friend, what did I say? Fucking can't speak today. Our friend Dan came out with this tweet saying Dave Filoni says that Ahsoka is not loosely adapting the Thrawn trilogy as many fans have surmised, but is in fact an adaptation of The Glove of Darth Vader. Now, I haven't read the book, The Glove of Darth Vader, and the source on this is Deadline. So I've never read this book. But I'm like I sort of said earlier, I wonder whether or not he's saying this because of essentially the backlash to people thinking, oh, they're adapting the Thrawn trilogy and it's, Luke's story and they're, not doing the right thing. They're not adapting the book at all. They're not adapting the story at all because how do you adapt that story with Ahsoka and all the Rebels crew and all of that sort of thing? I still think that the original intention maybe behind it was to adapt the Thrawn trilogy. And I mean, they're using the line Heir to the Empire as much as possible. But I saw this and I was just like, this is almost preempting the damage control. Dave Filoni, let's get out there on the front foot and say, no, we're not doing. But even still, even though I haven't read this book, you just look at the color. It's got Han, Leia, Luke on the cover, R2-D2, 3PO. And this is the book that they're adapting with none of those characters in it. And we're going to watch the trailer again. I mean, I did do my review or my reaction and watch the trailer and everything, but we're going to watch that again. But again, to come out and say this, like I said, I feel like they're trying to do some damage control before it even comes out. Oh, it's not what you think it is. It's going to be something different. We're adapting something else from the EU. Well, that doesn't make it any better. I mean, not in my eyes, it doesn't. Certainly not. So let's watch the trailer, shall we? Let's watch the Ahsoka trailer. Here we go.
War is inevitable. One must destroy.
When I first saw that, these guys flying back from shots, I know Chewbacca's bowcaster probably would do something like that, but I don't know if just normal blasters would. And it seems like in this shot, when you see a later shot, that these are just their own shots reflected back at them by a lightsaber.
In order to create.
See, because he's walking through here, or she is, who knows?
He is. We are no Jedi.
They definitely love playing on that because Ahsoka is no Jedi either. And the other thing too is from what we've heard from, the leaks, or not leaks, but the story synopsises and all of that sort of thing, they were Jedi. They were survivors of Order 66. And that's another thing that really sort of grinds my gears is how many Jedi we've now got that have survived Order 66. Palpatine fails his purge, basically. Not completely. Obviously, a lot of Jedi died during Order 66. But, it's kind of like when, I think we talked about it a couple of weeks, when Freddie Prinze Jr. was saying about his character from Rebels, Kanan Jarrus, he went up to Filoni and telling him that he needs to die, he needs to go, because, their understanding back then was that there were only 2 Jedi by the time A New Hope comes around. They have basically been successful in destroying all of the Jedi, at least Palpatine and Vader. That's what I'm talking about. They were successful. And that's why Luke is the last hope. it's you know, it diminishes not only Order 66 and the Purge with all of these surviving Jedi, but it also diminishes Luke being that last hope. Yes, Knights of Melbourne, how you doing, dude? Good to see you. Star Wars is saved. I'm kind of pissed. I don't get to watch as many of your streams anymore because I'm always at work and it's so busy at work. And even just that message that I got then about this fucking idiot that we've got at work that just doesn't do any work. So I've got to pick up all the slack. It makes me even busier. So I don't get to see them as much, but dude, you're doing some great work. Yes, 2 + 2 = balance. Star Wars is saved because of Ahsoka. It's so funny, though, to see... Oh, actually, we'll get to it.
I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
They're really pushing that. Really pushing that.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power. Such as you've never dreamed.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one.
It's funny too, you know, like even the way Hera speaks, that like is completely different. And I know that that's a nothing burger, that's a nitpick, but yeah, it's very different to the way Hera sounds in Rebels.
You and I both know who could help you with this.
Now, this is the bit that really confused me. You and I both know who can help you with this. They're talking about Sabine.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
She's still just as stubborn as ever. Now, I remember Sabine being like a bit rebellious even within the group that she was a part of. You know, she's always painting and doing her things and all of that sort of thing. But this, like I said, really confused me. She's still as stubborn as she's ever been. I don't remember Ahsoka being so, let's say, spiteful towards Sabine in the Rebels series. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember that. And I'm not going back to rewatch the Rebels just to see what happens.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
Now, she's saying that she walked away from, her master just like she walked away from Sabine. When exactly did that, like, you know, she was never like Sabine's master in the Rebels or anything like that. My understanding of what happened with Ahsoka was that she ended up at that temple. She got killed by Vader, saved by Ezra, and where was the walking away bit? When did that actually like happen? I mean, this is where I said in my reaction video, like, has Dave Filoni already forgotten his canon? Already forgotten his own canon? I don't recall Ahsoka walking away from Sabine. I don't even really recall her walking away from Ezra or anything like that. It was the you know, if we look at the World Between Worlds stuff, Ezra saves her. Ahsoka's got to go back through the same portal door that Ezra pulled her through, but then to make sure that nothing changes between that moment in time and when Ezra does pull her through the World Between Worlds, she can't go back to them. They've got to think Ahsoka is dead for things to evolve the way they did. Or else we've got that problem that they have with time travel movies and shit like that. Whereas it's going to cause a rift and things might not actually play out the way they would for Ezra to actually be able to save Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying? This is where the confusion comes in with the World Between Worlds. It's not so much time travel, right? It's changing a moment in time, but then if the person changing the moment in time is from, let's say, the future of that moment, then those people could end up changing the whole situation, so that by the time we get to when that person goes into the world between worlds and changes the moment, it might not happen. I hear people saying, one of them, the main one that uses this is Doomcock, that says they can use the world between worlds to retcon the sequels, to retcon some of the stuff that they've done in Disney Star Wars. And I will reiterate, that's not how the world between worlds works. Now, we don't know because, of course, we get no real explanations from Disney, Star Wars, Dave Filoni, or anyone in regards to how these things actually work. But based on my understanding from what we've seen, that's not how the world between worlds works. What moment in time, who would go into the world between worlds? It's got to be a Jedi of some sort, right? Because it's a Jedi temple. What Jedi? So let's say it's Rey. Okay, so Rey goes into the world between worlds. What moment in time does she change that changes the sequels? She goes back to the throne room scene in Return of the Jedi and makes sure that Palpatine doesn't return. She goes back and kills Snoke sooner before he's able to manipulate Kylo or Ben. Like, I don't know where we actually, how we actually change it from the world between worlds. It's just that seems to just be the catalyst to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going or this is what they could do, but then there's no explanation behind it. It's just they could use the world between worlds to retcon the sequels. Okay, how? Explain to me how. World between worlds does not work because it's not real. G'day, Tim F. G'day, Benzo. How you doing? Good to see you guys. But again, just back to the trailer. I know I went off on a tangent there. Back to the trailer. I don't see where Ahsoka walked away from Sabine. I don't understand why Ahsoka has this thought process that Sabine is still so stubborn as she's ever been. Let's see here. Hold on. Yeah. G'day, Holocron. How you doing? Jump after falling Palpatine and make sure he really hits some important reactor part. That's yeah. If I explain how, that would be a spoiler. That's so funny. Yeah, they could use the world between worlds, but I'm not going to tell you how they could do it because they might do it that way and then I might spoil it for you.
Sabine, you never made things easy for me.
When? When? Unless she's talking to Hera. Because Hera was a little bit of a mother figure to Sabine, but there was never this, let's say, rift between them. They were always very close, like family, right? And if anything, Sabine was the one that used to talk about that the most. You never made things easy for me. What? Like, okay, if she's talking to Ahsoka, that makes no logical sense whatsoever. Because Ahsoka, I will say, never really had a lot to do with Sabine. She was always coming to Ezra and Kanan about Jedi business. There was never a massive amount of interaction with Sabine. If she's talking to Hera, okay, this line might make a little bit more sense, but still nowhere near as spiteful as she's saying it and nowhere near as spiteful as she's looking in this shot. Sabine's the one that narrates the ending of the Rebels, right? Where she's talking about how, oh, we got, Jason Sindula, and she's talking about everybody in such an amazing way. Like, I don't understand where this spitefulness is coming from. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Benzo. Another Rebels retcon, it seems.
For me, Master.
And it does seem that she is speaking with Ahsoka and calling her Master. Like, again, so spiteful, it's almost like through her teeth. Master. Like...
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can. But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut.
And that, if you look over here, Sabine always had short hair. Maybe not that short, but it was always short. Maybe, okay, I just thought of something then. She's obviously seen her with long hair. So Sabine lets her hair grow out, which just so happens to grow purple and pink. But she lets her hair grow out. Obviously, she's having an interaction with Ahsoka, and maybe Ahsoka, like, Sabine's like, you left us, and I don't get that, because Ahsoka didn't leave them. Ahsoka was helping Ezra and fucking, and Kanan. And then when they get back from that mission, they're all sad. They're all sad that Ahsoka died. So based on Ezra going into the world between worlds, saving her life, I don't recall whether or not he came out and actually told Sabine that I saved her life. Is that the moment that Ahsoka walks away from Sabine? Like, I'm so lost. Because from what I know and what my understanding is of what actually happened, none of this is making sense. None of this dialogue is making sense. But just back to this, the nice haircut bit, right? So she's obviously seen her with the long hair. She obviously always had the short hair. And, the cutting of the hair is the sign for her accepting the family back, accepting Ahsoka back, and now we're going to move forward and we're going to go and find Ezra. No, you're 100% right, Tim. Rebels is garbage. But again, I'm trying to understand what a lot of this trailer means based on what I remember from the Rebels, and a lot of it doesn't make sense.
Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Buckle up.
Is that Sabine next to her?
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain.
Okay. I don't even care about the dialogue in this bit. Look at Thrawn. They couldn't find a better cast. They couldn't cast him better. He looks like Skeletor put on a little bit of weight. He does. He looks so stupid. It looks nothing like Thrawn. I wonder if the inflections in the way he speaks and everything is actually going to be there, or whether or not they're just going to try and make it this actor's going to try and make it his own. And I don't know. To me, this looks nothing like Thrawn. Hang on one second. God, can we get an older shot of him? Jesus. Everything is just... All right, let me just move this over for a second. So this is Rebels Thrawn. I mean, even Rebels Thrawn to me looks better than this. I want an old EU shot of Thrawn. That looks better. God, everything is just Disney at the top. Shitty Thrawn, new Thrawn trilogy. I don't know how accurate these sort of ones are. That's probably close. Again, this new look of Thrawn looks nothing like what my understanding of Thrawn is like in there. I mean, like I said, the Rebels Thrawn was probably in animation looked fine, but then when you see what they've done, like it looks nothing like him to me. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I hate the new Thrawn look too. So Sabine looks like she's fighting the non-Inquisitor, non-Jedi, Force is female, ex-Jedi, and she's saying you have no power, and she's putting up her hand like she wants to use the Force or something. So maybe they're going to make Sabine Force sensitive. She calls Ahsoka Master.
You have no power.
Now, she's obviously using a lightsaber. She did get trained by Kanan. Now, having swordsmanship, I wouldn't say is necessarily a problem, especially if you're some sort of warrior and from a warrior class of obviously Mandalorians. So I don't necessarily have too much of a problem with it. It looks like she's using Ezra's blade as well. But if she's going up against a Force-sensitive being, it's kind of like... This is going to be like a reminder of like the Force Awakens fight between Kylo Ren and Rey. No, Kylo Ren and Finn is probably a better example. Where Kylo should have ended that fight in an instant with a non-Force sensitive person.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
And again, in that shot there, she's I kind of looked angrier, I guess, than I originally thought because it's happened so quickly. And apparently that Inquisitor here at the end, his name is Marek, something like that. Not that anyone gives a fuck. Another Jedi survivor of Order 66 turned dark and working for Vader and Palpatine. So that's essentially my breakdown of the trailer. A lot of it would confuse the shit out of me. It really did. Confuse the shit out of me. So yeah, we talked about the image of Thrawn. Looks horrible. I'll give Skirmitar a like. Disney fake Thrawn. Yeah. I mean, I guess he's got a small cleft chin. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, all right, Bounding into Comics. Let's take a look at the spelling of it. It's Marok. Marrok. Because they revealed the name of it. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, I don't know how people can think like this, especially like Star Wars channels or these people out there that just, I don't know. They talk about Disney Star Wars like it's shit. And then we get takes like this from Josh from Den of Shills. Peak Star Wars is coming. All caps. Exclaim, exclaim, exclaim. Let's see what Rosario Dawson says on a stupid fucking morning show or something like that, where these people probably don't even care. This guy looks like he's so happy to be sitting next to, you know, Star Wars person.
There's like a major campaign that's going on online to try to get me in Star Wars to play Ahsoka.
Whoa.
Which would be amazing.
Because you know what? Star Wars follows you on Twitter.
They
don't follow anybody who's not in their movie.
I know. I think it's a good thing. Internet, help me out.
Now might be a good time to welcome Ahsoka herself, I think.
I gotta get back to that shot. What's going on here? To me, it just looks so fucking. It looks like PVC, not PVC. What's it look like? Just looks plasticky. And apparently, they invested money in this.
Ahsoka is a character that Dave Filoni created and worked with George Lucas on in the Clone Wars.
We're telling the story of this.
Yes, and George wanted her to be killed off, if you remember that correctly.
Character has been trained by the greatest Jedi of all time.
Oh, this is where everybody's saying, oh, Dave Filoni says that Anakin Skywalker was the greatest Jedi of all time.
Anakin Skywalker.
Ahsoka has been a really beloved character for many, many years. There's a lot of Ahsoka love today.
With Ahsoka, it's time that she came into her own in a way we've never seen it before.
She should be dead.
She is on fire and she knows her stuff. She's in it.
To see the scope of this story, I can't wait for people to watch it.
We have to maintain that sense of fun, adventure, and imagination.
Isn't it funny how Jon Favreau is talking about Ahsoka that's about to come out, but Jon Favreau is gone from Lucasfilm? And we had the rumors that, you know, when they killed off his character in Mando season 3, that's a sign that he's leaving, that he's on his way out. Interesting. How he's the one on this thing promoting it.
It's quite extraordinary, actually, bring this to life.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
August 23rd. Let's see here. Melissa Lord for 5. Thank you, Melissa. Disney Thrawn is fake. That doesn't look like him. And of course, Ahsoka gets Luke's arc. It's Disney. Jabroni Jobber Wolf Boy. Jabroni Jobber Wolf Boy. Is that Dave Filoni? Is that what you guys are calling him now? Sorry. Jabroni Jobber Wolf Boy is a cherry-picking hack. Yes, he is. Sorry, it took me a little bit to get that. No, 100%, Melissa. I'm with you. I agree with you. He is a hack. And again, like I said, it's funny how they talk about Ahsoka and talk about, you know, how George helped with the creation of this character or whatever, but George definitely had, you know, a plan when the character was created that he wanted her dead. He wanted her gone. By Order 66, mind you. By Order 66. Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate that. Let me just go check here, actually, see if there's any members or anything that's come through here. No, looks like we're all good there. Let me just check over here. Awesome. All right. That's what I call him. Oh, fuck. I love it. He's got so many different names. I just call him Mr. Hack Filoni. He's fucking absolute fucking hack. All right, there is, of course, Grizzy comes out with the goods. I'm going to drop a link to, this is just to the actual video, but, excuse me, if you're not subscribed to Grizzy, go over there and give him a sub. He does some great work with revealing the shills and the seals. I almost said the shields because maybe that's what we'll call them now. The shields, like seals and shills in one. All right, this is again Star Wars Simps react to Ahsoka. Let's take a look.
War is inevitable.
Okay, here we go. Ahsoka.
He starts off.
Oh, he said the Ahsoka. Oh my God, he said it. He said it.
He said it. He said the line. We're not Jedi.
We are no Jedi.
Oh! Oh! Damn. Oh! Oh! Sith.
I'm excited for some good Jedi action.
She says Sith. We've already been told, fucking Grace, that these characters aren't Sith. Fucking idiot.
You could trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up.
I'm so excited for this, dude.
I'm so excited. Oh, I'm gonna get done for that.
Yes, there he is, there he is, there he is. Are they gonna show him? Are we gonna see him? Oh my God, this is so sick.
She's so cool. I want to know so much more about her.
Whoa, dude, this looks so juicy. Hera! Chopper!
Hera,
Chopper! And Chopper!
Oh, Chopper!
Yes!
Chopper!
Get to the chopper!
Gotta get that one, huh?
Oh my God, we'll fall, look at that, look at that, look at that! Man, shut the fuck up!
Oh,
my Mothma, Sabine!
Walked away from him.
That was Hera.
I suck dick loud as hell.
Anakin never got to finish my training.
Oh!
I walked away from him.
Anakin reference, come on! Show us him!
They mentioned Anakin. They're discussing Anakin.
I walked away from him. Just like I walked
Oh my
away
God.
from
I fingered myself so hard, broke a nail.
Grizzy, you're awesome.
Oh, she's cutting her hair.
Oh, she cuts her hair.
Nice haircut.
Ah, let's go.
Let's go! Oh, man.
Nice haircut.
Ah, there it is!
Oh my God!
Yes! Ah! Yo! Oh, there he is! There he is! That's him!
I've never been late.
Let's go.
Oh, he looks so good.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, there he is.
God, 50-year-old man.
I got chills. Shut the fuck up!
There's the face. There he is.
Oh! Oh!
See, this feels Star Wars to me.
Anakin spoke.
There's lightsabers.
Oh, okay. I'm telling you, this has
Because there's lightsabers.
to be one of the best Star Wars shows.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
What is with this guy and his round mouth, losing all his teeth? What, like, what does he look like? The Legion. You do your worst. Seriously, this guy's reactions annoy me.
Never been late.
Oh my god!
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Oh, yes, we're gonna cry.
Oh my god, let's go.
I swear these people hype themselves up so much to get into the emotion and the yelling and the screaming and the everything, all for the camera. Again, I'd laugh if these people were sitting there, not on camera, watching this, reacting like this. Fucking hilarious.
Oh, let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Oh my god, dude!
Holy shit, there was a red lightsaber and he used the Force!
Let's go. Let's go.
Can we please drop the let's go shit?
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh my god. Let's go.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Let's go.
Fucking crap monitor.
No Inquisitor. I don't know if it's Star Killer or what, bro.
I don't know if it's Star Killer or what, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, Grizzy, with your little clips in there, it makes me laugh. But it makes me so angry at the same time. These people are retarded.
2 episode premiere, no effing way.
Bitch, shut up.
2 episodes. Oh. Are you kidding me? Let's go. Let's go, bro.
You just keep hitting the fucking home runs, Disney.
Oh, I got goosebumps!
Hell of a-
Let's go, baby.
Let's not.
Grizzy, thank you. And Grizzy, fuck you. Oh, dude. Oh my god. All right. I'm going to drop the link again to that. Please, again, go over, give the video a like. We did watch the whole thing. Let it play out. You don't have to watch it again, but at least give him that. He did the work. Fucking hell. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Bro! Bro! Ah! I need a bag. What the fuck? What the fuck? Disney, Star Wars is lame. It's so lame now. It's just fucking lame. The fans are retarded and lame and stupid. The reactions are over fucking hyped, man. Over fucking hyped. That's pathetic. That's pathetic on so many levels. That has to be clipped for Grizzy to use. What, me doing what I just did? That to me, we've seen some pretty crazy reactions, right, through Grizzy's videos to a lot of the Disney Star Wars stuff. That one was beyond. Like, wow. Wow. I'm a bit gobsmacked. I'm a bit like, I'm mind blown by those reactions. I understand about being excited for something, but that he gets up and goes mental about an Inquisitor at the end with his spinning lightsaber that he wants to be Starkiller. Aren't you subscribed to all these channels, Rhino? No. What kind of fan are you? Man, that blew my mind. Wow. G'day, Kelly. How you doing? Wow. Let's see. Is there something I can play? Yeah. This goes out to all of those people that just reacted.
What are you talking about?
And then this. Fucking hell, man. This is kind of, it's things like that I've seen that kind of make me say, like, in my reaction video, that I don't care anymore. Because honestly, I don't want to be affiliated with Star Wars fans if that's what people think Star Wars fans are. If that's how they think if that's how people think that Star Wars fans react. Man, these people's reactions to the episodes, oh, Grizzy, we're going to watch them. You put them together, we're going to watch them. Mind-blowingly gobsmacked by that shit. Jesus Christ. Man, that hurt my soul watching that so much that I don't even want to finish the stream. I just want to go I want to go watch fucking Mission Impossible. Anyway, we are going to continue though. What did I do with my lighter? I need a cigarette after that. I need a cigarette. Sorry. Give me a sec. It's over here. That was fucking... I don't even know what to say. I'm getting a drink as well. I don't even know what to say. Like I said, we watched a lot of Book of Boba Fett reaction videos from Grizzy. We watched a lot of fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi reaction videos from Grizzy. And we've never seen anything like that. We've seen some pretty crazy and pretty bad fucking reactions from these fucking seals. How are we going to say it? Call them? Shields? Book of Boba Fett was hard to watch. They did Boba dirty. They did. They've done Star Wars dirty. They've done George Lucas dirty. And they've done the individual characters fucking dirty. Secretly, Rhino reacted to the Ahsoka trailer like that too. He's clearly embarrassed. That's funny. Fucking hell, man. Shit, I could use a cigarette too, and I don't smoke. Oh my God. I 100% agree with you, Nutrium. These types of Star Wars fans are a big part of why Star Wars sucks now. You're right. The content sucks 100%. 100%. But it's because the content sucks and then you get reactions like that that then make it suck even more. And the whole concept of being a Star Wars fan suck. Anyway, we got some more Star Wars news and we got a couple of other things that we're going to watch. So let's just continue because again, like I said, I don't have a lot of time. We're going hour and 22 minutes. I've got probably 40 minutes left. And I've got to pretty much end it. So let's get through some of this shit, shall we? So this person here, Star Councils, he, him. I think this person's had a nomination to Seal of the Week before. But came out with this. Now, I don't know. It's obviously from Variety Fair. But John Boyega has made it clear in an interview with Variety Fair that he does not believe that the characters in the sequel trilogy are currently entitled to the same high respect as Leia Organa, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo. I mean, we've been saying this for years. They're not even close. And the thing is he says where is it? Currently entitled to the same high respect. They will never, ever get to the same high respect as those three characters. Ever. And this is the other thing too, is there's a lot of the shields out there that say, give it some time. Time will make the sequels better. Nah. If anything, time has made the sequels worse, and everything that they've been moving forward with makes it even worse. And I think that a lot of those shields out there are the ones that actually hope and think that through the TV shows and everything that they're doing, they're going to explain a lot of why the sequels are the way they are, why Luke Skywalker is the way he is. For $2, Greg, he says, what if Tom Cruise has a cameo in Ahsoka? Well, then Tom Cruise has a cameo in Ahsoka. And it'd be shit. And I don't think Tom Cruise would stoop that low to go and do something like that, like a Lizzo or a Jack Black. But I guess money's money, Hollywood's Hollywood. You never really know. It would suck. G'day, Christopher. I was talking about you earlier in regards to what you commented in my video. And to some degree, you're right. There is still an element of care there. But when I say that I don't care, I don't, I'm at the point now where I'm go for it. Do what you want to do. In my eyes, from my perspective, in my opinion, Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. Never has been, never will be. Never. So you can bring out whatever you want. You can use the Force. You can have your lightsabers. You can do all of that stuff. rip off as much fucking of George Lucas's universe as possible. But at the end of the day, to that point, I don't care. Destroy it. It's destroyed already. We're already there. But I appreciate you watching the video. And I appreciate the comment. Hey, it's people like you that keep me fucking grounded at the moment. So yeah, John Boyega, like, dude, these characters will never make it to the same level as those original three. Ever. Now, there was this video that the Sentinel put out on Twitter and tagged OG Star Wars, Tim, myself, and Greg. And there was a point that I wanted to make from just listening to this really quickly. So let me get my headphones on. Hopefully we've still got audio. Let me know if we don't. No cans of Coke. Yeah, send me to my room. All right, let's take a listen to this.
The Twilight Jedi is something that came a little later. When we started building Jedis, we had a lot of Jedis, and we needed more and more Jedis. As we were doing them toward the end, we ended up with a lot of Jedis that looked like people that worked at ILM, with these short little haircuts and looked like they stepped out from behind a computer. And so I was saying, we have to get more exotic Jedis. And so we only have so much resources to do these things, but I do have Twilights because we use them quite a bit in other areas in the Senate and as background action. So I have a sort of a wardrobe and a setup of certain kinds of characters. So it was a way of reinventing some of those characters. And I had realized that we had a comic book that has a Twi'lek in it that is a Jedi. There's a whole series actually of her. And I said, well, why don't we put her in this? I mean, she's a comic character, but we'll just fit her in and have her be a background character because that's exotic. That's how the Twilight Jedi ended up in the backgrounds of these shots, was to try to use some of the work and effort that the guys in the comic book world had put into things and characters they created.
So the point that I really wanted to make with this is George Lucas noticed that there were it's almost like there's just too many humans, right? That he needed to, fill the screen with a bit more of the exotic characters, the aliens, things like that. And obviously brought in Twi'leks and we do see a couple of others. There's actually a fair few, especially when they first arrive and they're all lighting up their lightsabers. You see a lot of unique aliens and that are Jedi. But I just wanted to contrast this with Tony Gilroy from the Andor series, right? That he just wanted to put droids and aliens essentially in the background, have none of them really at the forefront. This is where George, it's George's universe, right? It's George's baby. It's what, he created. And as he's making this and as he's going through these scenes and everything, he's obviously making those changes. And it's just very different to, again, what we get these days with, like I said, somebody like Tony Gilroy, who's never been a Star Wars fan, doesn't like Star Wars, but gets invited to make a Star Wars show that apparently is well received and high praise for the Andor series. I don't know why. But, to me, that was one of the problems with Andor. And I think I mentioned that a lot, is that there's no aliens. There's no, even when Andor gets arrested and stuff like that. Look at the background of the beach that he's on. They're all humans. There wasn't even really that many background characters. Now, he does get arrested by a human and then a droid comes in. but they're going to introduce that droid for the keys, the nostalgia bait, the, can't even remember his name now. The droid from Rogue One. The one that everybody liked. Cassian's droid. So yeah, I just wanted to play that. Like in regards to the Twi'leks, I know that there's a lot of talk out there in regards to different Twi'lek characters, and K2SO, thank you, Red Hoodwinked. Yeah, Lizzo the Hutt as a Jedi in Attack of the Clones. Yeah. So I like, actually, there's this one channel out there that does a lot of the shorts, and I think this is from his channel because it's got the green writing, and he always uses the green writing. But like always taking clips of George Lucas talking about Star Wars and what he did or what he changed, or certain elements of it and all of this kind of thing, and then obviously putting the shots from the show or the movie or whatever in the background. And there's a lot there. There's a lot there. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because, again, you hear the way George Lucas talks about these things, and then you see what they're doing with Disney Lucasfilm, the stuff that they're creating, the stuff that they're making, and it's very different. Very different. I heard Lizzo was nominated. Yeah, so that's the other thing too. Like, I haven't brought any of that stuff up because I just think that's just them giving themselves a pat on the back. That's just like, like Disney's not going to get these nominations for these award shows and stuff like that. And apparently, I don't know, Andor's got like 5, Kenobi's got like 7, Mando's got 5. Not all these things have nominations. And the funny thing is Lizzo is going up against other actual actresses, and Lizzo will probably be the one to win it. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? So I saw this, and we'll just quickly touch on this, a little bit of news. So Bob Iger will remain at the helm of Walt Disney Co. Through 2026. So Bob Iger's got a contract extension. Look how happy he looks at the Indiana Jones premiere. This is where I sort of think to myself, even if Kathleen Kennedy was to go, even if Jon Favreau was to go from Lucasfilm specifically, it's still under the Disney umbrella. And when you think about what Disney's done with all of their stuff, with Marvel, with Pixar, and a lot of the shows and movies and stuff that they've been coming out with, there's been one massive common denominator, and that is wokeness. There's just been a lot of it in a lot of the stuff that they're doing. And that's why a lot of their movies, a lot of their shows, they're losing subscribers. This is why all of these things are happening. So good on Bob Iger, I guess, for, he did it. He did it well. He bailed out when the pandemic happened and, left, put Bob Chapek in place so that he could be the fall guy, and then comes back after it's all over. It's just another snake in the grass, as far as I'm concerned. And despite people coming and going or whatever from Disney, from Lucasfilm, from Marvel, what's going to change? They've embedded these people over the last, I don't know, for Lucasfilm, I guess, over the last 11 years or whatever it is that they've owned it. They've embedded these employees and these people into it and changed people like, let's say, Dave Filoni, who everybody used to say, was loyal to George Lucas and stuff like that. He's not. You heard that Bob Iger will be at Disney until 20 31. Again, even if he was to go, who's his successor? Is it the board that picks who's going to be now in charge of of Disney if he was to go, or is it just him that gets to pick? Is it him and the board that get to choose who's going to be the president of Lucasfilm, or is it going to be Kathleen Kennedy picking her successor? He never changed. No, he didn't. So Disney's a fucking a mess. They're a disaster. And they've created and culminated that themselves. They really have. All right, let's go through some of this shit. So Tom Holland has become a very well-known actor, of course, because of his role in Spider-Man. He's obviously picked up a lot, or not a lot, but a fair few other roles from being Spider-Man. And I think most people think that he's okay. Not necessarily as Spider-Man. I know there's people out there that don't really like his version of Spider-Man and everything. But him as an individual, I think most people, they don't really have anything necessarily against him or anything like that. However, he's come out in a recent interview saying how much what he really thinks of Hollywood. And I just thought that this was an interesting take coming from somebody like this, who you would think for him to maintain his success and anything within Hollywood, he would have to toe the line, right? You would think that he would have to toe the line. So let's just take a listen to what he has to say.
I really do not like Hollywood. It is not for me. The business really scares me. I understand that I'm a part of that business and I enjoy my kind of interactions with it. But that said, I am always looking for ways to kind of remove myself from it, to kind of just live as normal a life as possible.
It's interesting how he comes out and he says, I really don't like Hollywood. He doesn't like the business of it. Now, again, he does point out that he is a part of that business and obviously in that business being an actor. But that's a real shame too, because I'm sure that look, Hollywood's always had its dramas and always been quite unique in that sense. But I go back and I even think of like the 90s and stuff like that, and even going back even further, like the 80s. Now, I can't speak for before that, but these actors, now we didn't have as much access to the actors and things like that, and the producers and the directors and all of that as we do now with social media and everything and the way that it is. But it's funny to hear him say that he really doesn't like Hollywood. Now, I think for a long time now, we haven't liked Hollywood as fans because, again, the entertainment that we're getting, it's not escapist entertainment anymore. It's activist entertainment. That's really what it comes across like from my perspective anyway. My opinion is that a lot of entertainment that we get these days is activist entertainment, not escapist entertainment. And it's just interesting hearing, him come out and say this at the early age of his mid-20s, going into late 20s, at least grounded to an extent. I still don't think he's a Hollywood person, right? But it's just interesting hearing him say this.
Today, doing this is a very rare thing for me to do. Yeah, I definitely think it has been an ongoing thought, which is don't lose yourself. I've seen so many people come before me and lose themselves. And I've had friends that I've grown up with that aren't friends of mine anymore because they've lost themselves to this business. And I just am really, really keen to focus on what makes me happy, which is my family, it's my friends, it's my carpentry, my golf, the charity that my mum runs. Like, that is the stuff that makes me really happy. And that's the stuff that I should protect. My relationship is the thing that I keep most sacred. I don't talk about it. I try my best to keep it as private as possible. We both feel very strongly that that is the healthiest way for us to move on as a couple. So I do try to keep as removed from it as possible. Like, you'll never see me at an award show that I don't have to be at. I'm never going to a red carpet event that I'm not in the film of, you know? I don't want the attention when I don't need it.
I agree. Good on him. Good on him. At least he's actually, at this point in time, able to see through the bullshit, I guess, to an extent. And, you know, the fact even there at the end that he says you won't see him at a red carpet event that he doesn't need to be at. You know, that he doesn't, like, if it's not a film that he's in and he doesn't need to promote it and he doesn't actually need to be there, then he's not going. And again, I agree. Good on him. And the fact that he doesn't like Hollywood. I mean, who fucking does at this point in time? Really, at the end of the day, who fucking does? All right. That's true, Greg. You are right. It's easy to say once you've made your money and you've got what you want out of Hollywood. You know, he's set. I don't know how much money he's made and I don't know what he's worth. But, you know, at that age, if you've done the movies that he's done and you've been able to invest your money well and actually make that money work for you, then he's set for life. You know? So for him to say, like, you know, even if he was, let's say, saying that he wants to take a step back and he doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. He doesn't want to do any more movies or anything like that. He's done. He's made it. And he doesn't need to do any more. But this is the other thing too that I kind of look at is, at least to some degree in what he's saying, it seems at least pretty based and at least sort of grounded, right? But it's in a way sad that a person like that isn't one of the people that is going to continue making us entertainment. Yeah, but they were dating well before either of them sort of made it huge. Like, they were definitely both in the industry, but they were dating well before, you know, he made it into Spider-Man. Anyway, let's talk about this. Obviously, this came out. I've talked about this on a couple of other streams. So, of course, we got our first look at Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the suit, and I liked it. I liked what I saw. Now, the things that do make me a little bit skeptical or afraid of this to an extent is the fact that obviously Disney bought out Fox. So this is, I believe, under the Disney umbrella. They are keeping it obviously R-rated and that sort of thing. But I did like seeing Hugh Jackman in the yellow and blue. Some people have made their nitpicks in regards to the suit and that sort of thing. I don't really mind. But, you know, when they first announced that Hugh Jackman was coming back, and I mentioned this in my video too, when they mentioned, no, I'm not shilling. When they mentioned it, I was like, no, don't bring him back. The way they ended him with Logan, I liked. I liked the movie Logan. I think it's one of the best, if not, I think it's one of the better, if not the best, X-Men movie that's out there. And I love that being R-rated too. It's definitely really cool in that sense. But I liked the way that they ended Wolverine's story in that, you could say, timeline, I guess, with Logan. And it makes me like, it made me skeptical when we heard that Logan was coming back, Hugh Jackman was coming back to play Wolverine in Deadpool 3. But again, I see this, don't mind it. We've got some of the action scenes that they were obviously filming in the fight between Deadpool and Wolverine. And the other thing too is, like, I'm happy that we're actually going to probably see a fight between Deadpool and Wolverine as opposed to what we got from X-Men Origins Wolverine. You know, where they zipped up Wade's mouth made that version of Deadpool. So obviously they're rolling here. Getting a couple of the shots, doing the wire work. Obviously, you got stunt doubles there. I like this bit. You get to see Hugh Jackman doing some choreography. And then he throws Deadpool through a wall. It's interesting to see how they film it too. And that's really it. So again, I don't know whether or not this is like, this was supposed to be leaked, like they pushed it out, or whether or not they actually, it was secretly leaked. But the fact that we're seeing it, I didn't mind the suit. I kind of like it. And you're happy about it, but you're not shilling for it. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Like, I'm concerned that it's through Disney. I like X-Men. My fucking cats are named after X-Men characters. I liked Deadpool 1 and 2, obviously under the Fox banner. And it's a shame that fucking Disney has now bought out Fox and this is going to be under the Disney banner. But am I not allowed to like it? Or at least like what I see? I don't know how I'm supposed to manage myself when it comes to all the entertainment that we're getting and I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. Let's do that and that. We don't need that. I haven't paid to see a lot of stuff recently, and I've seen Indiana Jones. I didn't pay to see that. I saw that movie with what's her name? Can't even remember the name of the movie now. Jennifer, what's her fucking last name? That one where she's basically been hired to sleep with the son. I saw that and I didn't pay for that. Anyway. All right. So I just saw this. This is from Script Trooper over on Twitter. 2 years in, and the High Republic books sales are down over 90% from their first release, Light of the Jedi. Star Wars is doing really well. So again, this is their new Jennifer Lawrence. Thank you, Nuisance Bird. Yes, that new movie that she that she was in. Like, I saw that and didn't pay for it. So I saw Flash and didn't pay for it. But yeah, just back to this. So it's funny, the new expanded universe that Disney has decided to create it, from the first book that they sold to where we are now, the sales are down 90%. Gee, I wonder why. I'd like to actually see, since Disney bought Lucasfilm, I'd actually like to see what the sales of like the EU has been, like the original expanded universe. So like it'll be interesting to see what the increase in those sales has been. You don't support the companies that hate you and destroy almost everything that you say you value, even when they occasionally do something you may like. Okay. So yeah, with the High Republic, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that the sales are down, especially when you've got people like those people that we watched react to the Ahsoka show. You know, react the way that they did. I could almost guarantee you that at least more than 50% actually of those people that we watched probably have never even read a Disney EU book, and they've probably actually never read a Star Wars EU book, like original EU, the original canon, the true canon. So again, it doesn't surprise me. And then on top of that, we get a Qui-Gon Jinn's Ghost Black Series from Obi-Wan Kenobi has been announced by Hasbro. See, this is the thing. Like, his ghost figure, it should be an empty box. Because he shouldn't actually be able to be seen. Along with another figure highlighting Obi-Wan from the show's end as well. It's funny because it's got the little, the fighter that what's his name's playing with, Luke's playing with. So yeah, they've announced a Black Series Qui-Gon Jinn Force Ghost and an Obi-Wan Kenobi figure from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's going to be interesting to see how well these things sell. Should be a fucking empty box with Qui-Gon Jinn in it. All right. I just want to talk a little bit about the Dial of Destiny and, of course, the box office from that. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier in regards to, obviously, Mission Impossible now just recently coming out and essentially taking over. A lot of people are more so, I think, wanting to go and see that than they are Indiana Jones. I think the voice of mouth is going to play a big role in this as well. But I did a video a couple of days ago and I highlighted this. And I think down here we were at 9 or 10 days, something like that. And we were just under $250 million worldwide. So within 3 or 4 days, it's gone up like less than $10 million worldwide. I don't know. That to me, that's pretty telling. To me, that's pretty telling. Man, I can't say anything right today. Also, it's a fucking toy. Grow up, Rhino. You don't know that, Ryan. I can say you haven't read any canon novels. Okay. So yeah, literally in 3 or 4 days, it's made around $10 million. And it's been out for like 2 weeks. Like, that's not great, I don't think, for an Indiana Jones movie. I don't think, anyway. What do you guys think? I mean, I just see this as this movie's got no legs. It's not standing up and it's not holding up. And their predictions of what they want and what they need from this movie, it's so far from getting to where they need it to get to. Anyway. They have Force Ghost figures from the Power of the Force wave. Okay, let me ask you, those figures that they've got for that, like, I don't know what you're talking about there, to be honest with you. But those figures that they've got there, are they actual Force Ghosts? Like, for example, at the end of Return of the Jedi, you've got Obi-Wan Kenobi, you've got Anakin, and you've got Yoda. My point is, with Qui-Gon Jinn, is that you're not even supposed to be able to see him. He didn't complete the training to be able to be seen. So how do you do a figure of somebody that's supposed to be invisible? You could do Force Ghost figures of those characters that are actual Force Ghosts. But Qui-Gon Jinn isn't supposed to be able to be seen. That's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, Christopher. No, my take isn't fucking retarded. Just because they made Qui-Gon Jinn visible to Obi-Wan Kenobi, which shouldn't be the case. That's my whole point. Yes, they did it, right? But they shouldn't have done it. So yeah, okay, make a figure. They made him visible. They made him complete his training after the fact, right? But this is what you're talking about. Force Ghosts of actual Force Ghosts. My point is, Qui-Gon shouldn't be a Force Ghost. He should be a voice. That's it. Riff, thank you for the membership. I appreciate that. Became a tracking fob. Thank you, dude. Fucking hell. That was my point, Christopher. It should be an empty box because Qui-Gon shouldn't be visible. If you're going based on true and real canon, their own canon. From fucking the Clone Wars. Well, they made one. Get used to it. I'm not denying that. They obviously made one. My point is it should be an empty box because he shouldn't be visible. Ah! All right, we're going to fucking do Seal of the Week and I'm ending the stream. Fucking Jesus Christ. So this week, Star Wars Holocron gets nomination he's been nominated before, but here's the first one. Number one, we're going to take a look. Star Wars Holocron. Fingers crossed that John Boyega and Oscar Isaac return for the Rey's new Jedi Order film. Yep, fingers crossed. I agree. Let's hope that they come back. Nominee number two is Star Wars Holocron puts this fucking take out, but the one that I want to take a look at more is Dan's take. One of my favorite scenes in the saga is fucking Kylo Ren imagining in his own brain that his dad comes and forgives him. It's essentially him forgiving himself. So Dan's take is the one that I want to take a look at there. That's nominee number two. Nominee number three. Now, we had this one last week, right? Jacob comes out and says, I don't understand how someone could watch this duel and think it's bad. Personally, one of, if not my favorite duels in the entire saga. Love the concept of using the Force to hold back the blade. One of my pet fucking peeves. And it's the fucking fight on the Death Star. I'm not going to play it because I'll fucking get copyrighted. But one of his favorite parts of that is this bit. God. Choreography is so fucking bad. Where is it? Did I go past it? There, that bit. He loves it. How you can use the Force to hold back the blade. So amazing. What a retard. So Jacob, the him himself, has another dumb take about another lightsaber duel. And last but not least, we've got Lena with Balance Baby Boy. And it's fucking Grogu doing the Mr. Miyagi.
Very good.
Very good.
Better.
Better. Fucking, I hate the way Luke Skywalker sounds. There's your nominees. Let me put the fucking poll in the chat. Fucking get out of here. Fucking the people that hate me, and the people that like me, hate me. Fuck. There, make your nominations. I was going to make another video, but hurry up. Make your picks and I'm ending the stream. This is fucking ridiculous. Maybe I shouldn't go watch Mission Impossible because that makes me a fucking shill. Maybe I shouldn't talk about the things that I see that I like and the things that I see that I don't like. Maybe I should just hate it all. Fuck. Go back and play some Uno. Fucking like I did last night. The worst fucking feeling of a stream I've ever been a part of in my entire fucking life. Are we done? Good enough. Okay. So there's 2 winners and there's 2 losers this week. The 2 losers are number 4 with Balance Baby Boy and number 3 with the fucking lightsaber fight from Jacob. The winners are Dan again and Holocron. Why am I not surprised? Those 2. And of course, basically fucking Holocron is a part of that tweet as well. Congratulations, those 2 fucking retards. You win this week's Seal of the Week.
I'm all the Jedi.
Let me Rhino. Let me apply Rhino's logic. Obi-Wan should be a disembodied voice in Return of the Jedi and not a Force ghost. No, because that's not how the story is. Qui-Gon helped Obi-Wan complete the training. Now, yes, when Obi-Wan first gets killed or becomes one with the Force, he is just a voice talking to Luke. But he has completed the training to the point where he can appear just like he does in Empire Strikes Back. Making a figure of Force Ghost Obi-Wan Kenobi is not even close to the same as making a figure of Qui-Gon Jinn, Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn. Because in my understanding of the canon and Disney's canon is that Qui-Gon Jinn never completed the training to be able to, he was on his way, but never completed the training to be able to manifest himself as a Force Ghost. That was my point. And you proved my point when you said go and look up those figures. Because all 3 of those characters are actual Force Ghosts and completed the training. Disney doesn't give a fuck about the concept of training. Doesn't give a fuck about the concept of progression of training. But that's fine. I'll be the retarded take person. All good. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the members. Thanks to the members for being here. We will see you next week for another episode of whether or not we even fucking do it. Fucking thank you.
A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like Dustin Crop's kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bouncing into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking very caution.
You... Go away!
We bounced too near a supermarket?
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!